Reactions to the playoffs, round 2. What's up, Gopal?
My first reaction is CP3 needs to retire.
Right. So we'll talk about we'll talk about that next. But first, let's start with the game with which I ended the last podcast. The last
Dude, you look like you haven't slept, okay? I don't know what your routine is right now, like this whole 1 a.m., 5 a.m. Like what? What's the scene? Let's start
so
from there.
yeah. Let's start with this game now. Whatever we saw happen with the Celtics today is the or yesterday rather in USA. So is the reason why I do not understand this team's mental abilities or its mental strength because or rather lack of focus, or I don't know what you want to call it.
Bro,
Because
I'll tell you what I want to call it. I'm going to call it James Harden is back, dude. That's what I'm going to call it.
so we had a yesterday Gopal did say that James Harden will have to shoot like 30 times, 35 times, and he did. But here's the thing, right? Even when he shot and he scored 45 points, there's no way in hell this 76ers team should be able to win even a single game against the Celtics team without Joel Embiid. Like, there is absolutely no way. James Harden can go for 50 and they're not supposed to win. Like, I do not understand the Celtics team. They are so infuriating that they're supposed they don't have any sense of urgency, they don't have any sense of purpose. Like, this is supposed to be a cakewalk for them to the finals. You know why? It's There's chances that they meet up the Heat again, and Heat are banged up. They don't have two amazing bench players, they just have Jimmy Butler. Or even if it's the New York Knicks, there's no way New York Knicks matches up with the Celtics. The Philadelphia 76ers without Joel Embiid are no match, and still they figure out how to lose games. It does not make sense to me. It's like they don't take it seriously. It's like they're this was one of the most lackadaisical performances I've seen, one of the worst playoff losses, and it sucked in the sense that there were moments where, despite playing so bad, there were chances that they can actually pull this win off, and they just forgot how to execute in the last 3 minutes. I'm like, what are they doing? Oh my god, I was so frustrated with this game. But I honestly feel, despite James Harden's 45 point effort and the beautiful step back game winner on Al Horford, that was sizzling. This was not supposed to be a close game. This was supposed to be something which the Celtics win easily. And as usual, they just start messing around. They don't take it seriously. James Harden is an MVP. You can't disrespect him by showing such a terrible effort, starting off at your home court in the playoff second round. It's like this is not the regular season. They played like it was a damn regular season, 20th game or something. It looked so bad. Like, I mean, Gopal, what are your thoughts on this?
Okay, so I'm glad you focused on the Celtics because I was मैं तो मजे ले रहा था भाई this is like full पैसा वसूल even though like whatever we don't spend a lot of money watching these games. So my thing is the Sixers came prepared, right? When you talk about Coach Doc Rivers and all the hate that he has rightly been getting, I think for the last few years, I
Right.
think the Sixers they had what 9 days. I think they were the only teams to have swept in the first round, right? So I think they had a 9 day break, and
Right.
that's the advantage, right? So one thing if a player is not available, say the night before, but
Right.
they had 9 days, okay, and I think their preparation showed. Okay, they were very clear on what they had to do, and they did it. Okay. So I think, but I still think this is more like an opening punch. I don't think they can repeat this level of performance, and the Celtics will still pull through and go to the finals. So the questions around the Celtics remain, but this is exactly like if the Sixers had played any other way than they did today, they were not winning this game. Like they made the Celtics play their game, okay, which was up tempo, fast, first 7-8 second offense Tyrese Maxey also came good. Apparently he had a terrible first round. I think he was anyway. I love that guy's energy, man. That guy is like always his motor is running throughout, right? So, but yeah, this was throwback and shout out also. Let's not underestimate. I think PJ Tucker and James Harden, they were together, right, in the Rockets. They were part of that ultra small ball lineup. So it was a throwback to that. James Harden had a game that really turned back the clock, especially considering we had Steph Curry drop 50. Then we have James Harden. In a way, this was like a game 7, like a reverse, right? Because for them, you need James Harden to play better in game 1 and 2 and 3 or whenever until Embiid comes back. So I think in many ways this was this was as important as a game 7 win as far as the Sixers are concerned. I still think uh, couple of those calls also, like really crazy calls, right? Like, but they were right calls, like the one that Marcus Smart, the charge that he drew. Uh, it was so close. It was so close. But then I thought it was a legit charge. But then it's very interesting, like this rule that they have for people who may not watch it. It's a point at which a player goes into his motion, right? I found that like that's a nuance that I hadn't really paid attention to, but that shows, right? It makes it different. That was a 3-point swing, and Maxi would have been out of the game, right? So that's what I'm saying. Despite all this, Celtics could have won, right? The way they played, also they could have and should have won. I still think without Embiid, Sixers are not. I mean, they have no chance. I still think the Celtics will probably take this in 5 or 6.
See, my point is this. I still think Celtics win.
Yeah.
But after seeing the shit they pulled today, I'm sorry, today we started swearing very early. But I won't be surprised if they manage to lose the series. Like, it won't surprise me at all. This team in sequences looks like a championship team, and in the same game, they look like a trash team. It's like I honestly, for me, I'm disappointed because I expect more from Celtics. I expect more from, I expect a lot more from Jason Tatum. And you can be like, oh, he had a great game. No, he didn't. He disappeared. Where was he towards the end of the fourth quarter? He just disappeared. Had some good shots in the beginning of the game, and that's why I expect Jalen Brown hit some good shots in the third quarter, beginning of fourth quarter, and then just disappear again. Like, what's going on here? And dude, what I get frustrated with is if you're looking as a Celtic player, Giannis is out. Giannis, I believe, was the biggest threat to the Celtics. Okay. And then on the other side, the Western Conference teams are gonna go at each other. We're gonna react to one of their games as well. They are gonna go aggressive fight. I'm quite confident Grizzlies Lakers series, AD and LeBron get injured. Why am
You
I
mean Warriors? You mean Warriors series?
Warriors? Sorry, the
Uh-huh.
Warriors series. Why am I bringing these things up? If I am the Celtics, I should target to finish this series quickly, get rest, get to the best peak shape possible. And of course, they come up and they give such a horrible stinker. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, but dude, there are these weird playoff runs, right? Again, obviously, I'm not a NBA historian, but I'm sure there have been championship teams who have had really weird and unpredictable series, but they still go on to win, right? So my point is, I agree with you. I agree with you completely on the inconsistency aspect of it, but my point is, it doesn't matter how you win as long as you win, right? It's the end result. Are you winning the series? Obviously there you can make it as hard on yourself, and that's not cool. Like, oh, by the way, this particular play that you just saw right now,
Yeah.
was the shot clock
Yeah.
had it expired? I think it had expired. Dude, it was showing 0-0 at the time when he got it.
No. So there was a very interesting explanation on the Inside the NBA show about this. They said very clearly that the shot clock expired at the time Maxi caught the ball.
No,
Okay?
no, I love this rule. I anyway think like you should allow the play to flow, right? But
I
I'm
know it's
just
one of the dumbest things I've
yeah.
ever seen. Like, because you have a fast break opportunity that's an automatic too, and then you
Yeah.
end up having to go take it out of bounds. But this is another part, right? They bought Malcolm Brogdon to stabilize their offense at end game, and he comes
Turnover.
comes at
Turnover.
the turnover and the most crucial moment of the game. They're up one at that time. They could have easily got a good shot. You have Jalen Brown, you have Jason Tatum. One of the dumbest thing yesterday which the Celtics did, and this I blame the coach. Dude, how can you not double? Who else do they have? They have Maxi and James Harden. No one else can bloody put the ball in the basket. Why are you not doubling MB? Joel. Sorry. Why are you not doubling James Harden every single second? He catches the ball, double him. Like if he catches the ball in the backcourt, double him. I mean, who else can score in the 76ers, man? Like, what kind of who is doing this play call? I don't understand this.
Man, you need to look at it from a from a fan perspective. भाई मजे आ रहे हैं ना भाई, मुझे तो मजा आ गया. The point is blowout, swept series 4-0 और ठीक है भाई, 5-6 थोड़ा ड्रामा आ जाएगा. Even with the Hawks series, it was fun. Eventually Celtics only won, no, like my point is,
Right.
and then I guess, see, the only issue of fatigue and all probably will come with Al Horford, Marcus Smart maybe.
Yeah, it
uh,
will, and that's what will end up, causing them to lose the finals again, in my opinion. Because this is what happened last year. They didn't take care of business. They were way too like every series games which they were supposed to win. Game 6 against the Bucks, they lost. Then they had sorry, game 5 against the Bucks, they lost. They had to come back, fight through game 6 and beat them in game 7. Dude, these things matter because towards the end of the finals, if you see, Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown could not hit a shot. And in the finals, no matter what you say, it will go 6 or 7 games. You got to be prepared and you have to think ahead. See, my point is this is not a I can say I can say all of these things. Look, you
I'm just enjoying this. I feel as if like you have like part stake in the Celtics franchise. इतना मतलब frustration क्यों आ रहा है पता नहीं भाई मुझे.
so okay. I'll tell you this. When I got into the NBA in 2008,
That's why. Now it makes. Now I got
the first team which I saw, I think the first proper game and series which I followed was the Celtics Lakers
Lakers.
in
Yeah.
2008, and I fell in love with KG and Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and Ray
See,
Allen.
that is the issue. Now this is turned into an NBA therapy session. But see, now that is your cause. Ki, that is your benchmark, na? If that is your benchmark, you're always going to be disappointed, right? That's a different era, dude. I don't think that's a special team, man. Like that level, and KG, man, KG like next level intensity, dude.
See, and after I saw today's game, I really figured out, why a player like Draymond is so important for the Warriors, right? He would have, in the game, he would have beat the shit out of one of his teammates
Ooh.
based on the way they were playing.
In a good way, not the Rudy Gobert way.
Yeah, in a good way. Like you need a guy like Draymond. Draymond is for me like what KG was for the Celtics, right? I love him. Like you need a player like that, and
But KG was not that.
he was
matlab,
very vocal.
But he was
KG was
vocal.
very
But
vocal.
I don't think KG got so many technical fouls, and he was not that as controversial, was he?
No. He was also someone who would get under people's skin, get technical fouls. He was slightly better than Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah, but I still feel KG was the good, good bad guy. There's a good bad and bad bad.
No.
I think he's a good bad.
We're gonna do towards the off season some reactions on some of the best trash talkers. So be prepared for that, guys. But here's the final thing, right? Boston Celtics, this is your NBA Finals to lose. Don't screw around. I want Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown to hoist the championship. I want them to, at the very least, get to the finals and give a good fight. But if they play like this against a good team, it's over. It's game over.
But they know now that they're not playing like this against the good team. Na? They're playing like this against the shit team. They're
I
being
know
smart.
they
So ठीक है.
always
They're lowering their level as per their opponent's level.
yeah. It's like if you're shit, I'll play shit. If you're good, I'll play good. It's like what? ये क्या है यार? Practice your plays, man. Get your bench players involved. Get confidence for them if you think it's such an easy series.
Dude, anyway, but please have faith in Harden messing up next game. He like, भाई I've burned too many calories. ये हो गया. अगले ये
No,
मुझसे
so
इतना काम मत कराओ.
I'll tell you what the Sixers just bought, Gopal. What the Sixers just bought is time for Joel Embiid.
Yeah, but I don't think it makes a difference because even if Embiid comes back, I still it'll be like Giannis coming back. Okay,
Okay.
he'll be like good. Like the numbers will be like, oh, he had a crazy game, but Giannis getting 40, 15, 15 versus Giannis getting 20, 10, 10. There's a
Right.
difference, right? So I don't think Embiid is going to be the solution to the Sixers. It's more
Right.
about Celtics continuing to mess around and Harden continuing to play this way. I don't think it's happening. I think Celtics will make adjustments. Like, come on, they're a professional team. Okay, I think they had a shock and awe. Okay, the first game they just came out of the blocks. If Harden and Maxi had missed some of those wide open jump shots in the first quarter, then we're looking at a different result. Then this entire frustration of yours may not even be happening.
No, I
Perhaps.
think okay. So you're not getting my point. What I'm angry with is not the fact that they lost. I'm angry with the fact that they played so loose. They played with a lack of urgency. They played as though this was as though this was a pickup game.
Yeah, it was a pickup game.
Like,
It was no. So that's that again. You mentioned pickup game. No, that's a classic example in a pickup game, especially in Bangalore. Sorry, Bangalore guys, but no one plays defense in Bangalore. Okay, so it's basically you just keep going up and down,
right,
and you just launch and you shoot. That's what this was, and that's my issue, right?
right,
That's what Sixers wanted. That's what they wanted. That's the game they wanted.
right,
And Celtics were playing that game, and they're not going to like all the Sixers need to do is keep it close till the fourth quarter, and then anything can happen, right? Then all your plays and go out the window, which is what we saw happen, like giant brain farts by players who are not supposed to. And also Paul Reed hitting free throws. I mean, that was also weird, right?
it, dude. You can say everything went the Sixers' way. My point is this: a good team, a great team, even if everything goes the other team's way, they find out a way to win. They play with effort. They show up. They didn't show up. That's my issue, and I'm very angry with this. And if Celtics keep this level of attitude towards the playoffs as the playoffs go on, I don't even think they make the finals. Honestly, like I hope Heat pass on to the next round and beat the shit out of them.
I have a last point. I don't know if you're moving on to the other series now, but my last point, just a historical context,
Right.
which I find interesting is Philly and Boston.
Right.
They have faced off the most number of times in the playoffs, 22 times. Which so shout out also to Dr. J, and I guess Will Chamberlain also played for the Sixers if I remember correctly. Larry Bird, of course, the
Right.
60s, 70s. I mean, those were some great matchups, man. So yeah.
Yeah. This is a great. That's another thing, right? This is a great rivalry as well. So you show up in good rivalry games, man.
But it's a series, bro. That's my point. You don't show up. You show up. If it goes to 6 or 7, we're still looking at a
Dude,
classic
Celtics will
series.
win this series. I am telling you.
Yeah.
With or without Embiid. My point is not that. My point is why would you play so bad? Like why would you show up with such a bad effort? You lose, it's okay. You I don't know, man. I'm just angry. I'm just irritated. When I saw this game, I don't want the Celtics to win it all. My pick is the Warriors, but I I don't know. Like those 2008, my first exposure to NBA. I find it very irritating the way they played. But anyway, let's move on to the next game.
Yeah.
Now this was a fun game.
Ooh, what a game.
So what a game, yeah. You have the MVP. Probably.
Oh, okay. You think so?
No, I think it's Embiid. I think he made everyone he tripped everyone, or he made everyone feel pity for him and vote for him.
Pity, bro. Like pity takes all the analytics out of the window. It just makes it an emotional decision.
Because the reason I tell pity is, guys, Nikola Jokic put up a 70% true shooting as the leading scorer of his team. That is Oh my God! Like,
I don't know. Honestly, I know this is a spoil sport type logic, but why don't you just share the award, man? Like, I just share it. No, like, don't know. It has happened, right? Wait, it has happened.
I have a question for you. Now that you bring this up,
It has happened.
it has happened. It has happened. My point is this: right now in the playoffs, depending on what you've seen, whom would you rather have in your team, Embiid or Jokic?
But Embiid is injured. So is that a trick question?
My point is this: he's always injured in the playoffs. When has he played fully healthy? His play style is not conducive to the modern NBA. He is someone who keeps getting injured. Durability. Okay, so the great late great Bill Russell, one of my favorite quotes of his was, "Availability is the best ability."
Wow. वाह
Right?
वाह 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 नहीं नहीं भाई मजा आ गया dude. Bill Russell is next level. What a guy, dude. I still haven't watched a Netflix show, by the way. Maybe we should do another one on that. I
We will.
हाँ.
So that's my point, right? He's never available healthy in the playoffs. Never, never. Not one playoffs I've seen him fully healthy going at it. Always something or the other is
Just
wrong.
like Chris Paul. we come to
So
no,
let's
sorry.
talk about this. So let me just summarize the game. This was a superb game. Devin Booker had it going in the first few quarters. I really felt that he's gonna take over and he's gonna will them to a win the way he did against the Clippers in the last few games when they closed them out. However, Nikola Jokic had other things to say about it. This is the point. This is why this guy's the MVP. In the playoffs, this is the first game I saw him try. He's been playing so effortlessly throughout the playoffs. He's like, okay, third quarter and fourth quarter, I'm gonna take over. And he made every right pass,
Dude,
he hit every right shot. There was no answer for him. And shout out to another player, Kentavious Caldwell Pope.
KCP.
Amazing three-pointer after three-pointer. I think he had three straight three-pointers at a point.
Yes.
Unstoppable. And the best part was, despite him hitting these shots, and he hit these shots last game as well, they were leaving him wide open. So this was a great game, and Jokic just showed everyone why he is an MVP. None of his teammates, other than KCP, had it going. None of them. Jamal Murray had a terrible game. In the fourth quarter, there was one layup which Jamal Murray got, and he was like, "Oh, thank God."
Yeah, yeah.
So it was that kind of game, and they just found a way to win. I loved it. I loved this game. I mean, Gopal, your thoughts?
Yeah. So, I will take your you may not agree with this analogy. Okay,
Okay.
because you remember after game 2
Mhm.
of the Warriors Kings series.
Right.
Okay, you had said that the Warriors have started figuring out the Kings.
Right.
Okay, I'm not pushing it to that level. I'm not saying the Suns have figured out, but my point is, uh, a lot of the things Suns did right that we would, which would be basically what we were pointing out, like the Suns defense.
Right.
Okay, so for 3.5 quarters of the game,
Right.
it was it was exactly what I think the Suns wanted to do. I don't think it was even defensive. Like, it was not like strategy or match. It was just effort and intensity. Okay,
Right.
if you ask me, like Jamal Murray, I don't think he had a bad game. Okay, I'll tell you why. Because whatever shots he was taking, they were really tough, man. Like, I don't think he missed wide open shots. In fact, I would go to the other extreme. Okay, I would say that KD, man, I was stunned. I'm like, this dude is human. Like, he was missing. Like, if you look in the hindsight, okay, there are a couple of things. Like, if the Suns had made those first quarter, second quarter shots that they were getting,
Right.
okay, and I also feel this could be a minor issue. I don't know if it would have made a difference in the context. Like the
Okay.
coach's challenge, uh,
Okay.
that Monty Williams, right? That's his name, right? Monty Williams. The coach's challenge that he took in the third quarter, because
Right.
KD is a superstar. I'm going to use a coach's challenge on him, right? I felt like these are things that matter. It was a 10-point game at the end of the day, right? So I'm just saying these few things I
Right.
think would have made a difference. So yeah, I still feel like I don't know if this is something the Suns can maintain, uh, because this is the kind of game if they play they have a chance. I didn't know they had this defense. They do have it, right? So maybe we have this could also get interesting. Maybe, right?
Okay.
So that is my take on this.
Okay.
But Nuggets showed they can win different kind of games, right? It's not like they only play the smooth, free flowing offense game. They found a way to grind it out and win this, which I think is a big plus mark for the Nuggets. And of course Chris Paul, भाई बुढ़ापा भाई ये नहीं होगा उनसे.
Right.
Anyway, so that's a separate Chris Paul note. I feel Chris Paul, another guy who keeps getting injured in the playoffs. Dude, my couple of things I found interesting.
Okay.
A, a Kogi was guarding Murray, right? I didn't pay attention to this in the first game, but I guess he was guarding him in the first game also. So I'm not. And Booker just came on like he started taking Murray on in the second quarter. So
Okay.
I don't know if that is that different from the first game? But utna attention I don't pay on defense. I'm like a very old school guy. By kisne shot mara. That's my analysis. Okay, so that's one thing. The other one is a very interesting thing to look at is the
Okay.
Durant MPJ Michael Porter Jr. matchup. Okay, I feel like it's a very like for like sort of carbon copy. I think there could be an interesting subtext here between those two in terms of change of guard, right? I think that could be an interesting plot in terms of MPJ saying, the future belongs to me, KD. You're already balding now. You have anyway, these are my and Biombo starting. Like he came in the first quarter. So Suns are also going with a deeper bench. They had maybe 10 players in within the I think first quarter itself.
Right.
So these are some things to think about. I don't know if it's going to translate into anything substantial
Okay.
in game two, but yeah, that's the long and short of it.
Let me make a bold claim, a hot take. Ready,
Hot take.
Gopal?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
I think Nuggets will sweep the Suns. You know why? You know why? You know why? Hello.
I can hear you. I'm just giving you a respectful pause, bro. Like, go ahead. Explain why.
I thought you were shocked. You know why?
हाँ भाई बोल दे.
Because Durant, Booker, CP3, forget about it, always underperform in the playoffs. What did I tell you before the playoffs started? You said our sons the dark horses. I said I don't trust Kevin Durant, Devin Booker to perform well under pressure. Game 3, Jokic is an assassin. He is stoic. He does not care if it's game 1, 2, 3. He's gonna bring it. Jamal Murray is gonna have a big game, and Kevin Durant is gonna again have a stinker. Mark my words. And then game 4, of course, it'll be all over.
भाई I'll be like I said I anyway have picked the Nuggets. तो अगर 4 गेम में हुआ 5 गेम या 6 गेम में I still think the Suns will win one थोड़ा इज्जत बचाने के लिए. So I'm going with Nuggets in 5.
Oh, okay. You have a gentleman sweep, so that's basically a sweep.
हाँ but थोड़ा gentleman नहीं है थोड़ा थोड़ा इज्जत. Like at least Suns should win one at home. थोड़ा crowd भी खुश हो जाएगा ऐसे.
No, I don't think they even win one game. And I saw this happen last year with the Celtics as well with Kevin Durant. Tell me this: how is it any different? Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving playing against the Celtics, right? Right? Versus this year, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker playing against another number one seed.
Yeah, that is true. I still think though that
So Nirmal Bansali has a comment: KD won 2 Finals MVP. Nirmal, here's the thing: he was the bus rider, not the bus driver.
so people who are watching need to know that this is a family affair. That we
Nirmal says, "I'm all for Nugget sweep, but put some respect on KD's name, dude." He's a choker, ultimate choker. I honestly feel they get swept. After today's game, I did not see. You know what's going to happen in the next game? Kevin Durant is going to have a big game. Devin Booker is going to have a big game, and it won't make a difference. That's what's going to happen.
I like I said, for me it comes down to, can they maintain this level of defense, number one, and the second is, can they start knocking down those wide open shots when they get them? Because KD, I don't know what his field goal percentage was in this game, but
Horrible. He
it
was
was horrible.
30%.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying law of averages. He's not going to go 30% again.
No, see, that's what people said last year in the playoffs. This
He
is
was 30.
exact.
He was 30% last year in the playoffs.
Yeah, so the first two games he was at 35%, and everyone said, "Oh, he never has back-to-back bad shooting games." And then game 3 has a stinker, and then game 4 he has a stinker, and they get swept by the Celtics. Like, what? How is it any different, dude? This guy, if he does not have a great system around him, can't perform in the playoffs.
Are we going to talk about CP3's groin?
So let's.
Because we
so let
started this entire thing with CP3 having to retire. I feel like we're never going to
so
come.
let's. So yeah, Gopal, why do you say he has to retire?
Dude, like even you talk about playoffs, right? Like I think in the last 5 6 years he's always got injured, right?
Right.
Like 3 out of those 5 years. I just feel again now, he's a guy who's past his prime. I don't see him contributing at that level anymore. Like
Right.
if it's possible, he's 50% of last year. Last year itself he was 50% of what he was the year before,
Right.
right? So that's a bigger story, simply in the sense of you want some of these Hall of Famers to finally get a ring,
Right.
right? So that's another thing, right? Like केडी तो अगर अपने लिए तो नहीं तो भाई एटलीस्ट फॉर CP3 थोड़ा तो मेहनत कर ले भाई थोड़ा right, because I think but that's not how it works anyway, but yeah,
So
I feel bad for CP3, man.
yeah. CP3, it's always been a sad story for him. Every single playoff since his Clippers days with Blake Griffin, either he gets injured or a major teammate gets injured, and he's never been able to play at his full strength. The one time he was able to, Animal has a comment. CP3 injured in the playoffs was like clockwork. Absolutely,
Exactly, yeah.
that's. I don't know. I would like to think about the only time he was fully healthy was, and even then, I think he had some knee issues, was during their run to the finals. I think in the finals, he had sprained something
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
where they
yeah.
lost against Giannis. And that's just sad because CP3, of course, I mean, he's one of, as Daryl Morey says, right? He's one of the most efficient players ever. His PR, all these things are off the charts. But as I do, availability is the best ability. Availability is the best ability. So
Yes,
I don't know.
yes.
You can blame it. You can't blame it on him. The idea here is this.
No, it's not a question of blame. It's just that you feel bad for the guy.
Yeah.
I don't think you can blame him. I don't think he's trying to get injured in the playoffs. I'm sure he's not,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, but this
So I
this
have a,
again, yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I'm saying this again is a classic thing, right? About an individual versus a team, right? You always want some individuals to get that ring, like even Charles Barkley, right? That's one of those things that even now, I'm sure it still rankles him, even in NBA on TNT and all these things. That the fact is, bro, you don't have a ring, or with Reggie Miller, right? But with like someone like Reggie Miller, you can always say that he stuck with one team, so he chose loyalty over a ring. But
Right.
CP3 is like he kept hopping around also for that ring, so it didn't really
Pan out.
help. Yeah, so that's just a sad.
Yeah.
But
Sad
maybe he'll
reality.
be back. But I don't know if he's going to be back, man. Like it didn't look promising.
So let's move on for tomorrow's games. So, so the upcoming games is the Warriors Lakers tomorrow. So we and you have the
Oh,
Knicks Heat, of
dude!
course. So let's start with
Warriors,
Heat.
Lakers. Oh,
Knicks Heat.
yeah.
Who do you think got game 2?
I think the Knicks, because they're playing at home. And I think that the first game itself, based on what you were telling me, Nikhil, it was actually very very close, right? Came down to the last few possessions. So I do.
Yeah, last about 5-6 possessions, and they like idiots gave it to RJ Barrett instead of Jalen Brunson.
हाँ
That was
तो
very
वो
dumb.
yeah. So I think the Knicks do come back
Right.
and win game 2. Yes.
Okay. So I have another particular point here. Julius Randle is still questionable for this game. Uh,
Oh yeah.
uh, Before that, we have another comment from Nirmal. He says CP3, it's karma for all his dirty plays. Yeah, probably.
Arey, dirty. That's called veteran play, man. It's not dirty. They're just smart. Dep-
You know what was my favorite part of last year's playoffs? It was actually Pat Bev going to ESPN dumping on CP3.
yeah. What's he been up to this time? I'm sure even he's pretty vela. Even
They'll
even.
call him. They'll call him soon.
Ah.
I'm sure they will call him. So I'm sure he got a lot of he got a lot of eyeballs because of his comments. But yeah, Knicks and Heat. If Randall plays, I think Knicks take it. If he doesn't play and if he's injured again, I think Heat win this again
But
because
but he's not expected back for game two, is he?
no,
Randall.
it's questionable, is what the comment says. So let's see how that goes. It'll be interesting to watch. But yeah, I expect I expect Knicks to put up a big game. I hope they go to Jalen Brunson a lot more. I want to see. I think he had a decent game itself. I don't know. It was, of course, a tough game, so it'll be interesting to see. But let's see how that goes. And finally, of course, Jimmy Butler. You don't know. Like, will he slow down? I don't think so because it's the playoffs. He doesn't slow down in the playoffs, guys.
Dude, you saw that video of him 1 a.m. workout. It was insane, man. Like there's a video of him at 1 a.m. working out. Okay, in New York, and people are like, bro, this guy he's still on. He's still.
He's still on. Yeah. There's no. They absolutely don't have any business being this deep in the playoffs with this team. Like, I think three of the starters are undrafted players. Gopal,
Hey, you telling me two of the bench players are injured? Who are those two? Can you just one is Tyler Hero,
Tyler Hero and Victor Oladipo.
Oladipo. Okay, okay. Hmm.
So why I specifically bring these two up is I think they at least could take a little bit load off of Jimmy. Both of them are good scorers, good
But it's not like
makers.
they're like non-essential, So
They're
that way,
non-essential.
yeah.
That's true. So that's why the only thing is this, right? Like they'll go as far as Jimmy Butler takes them, and the way it looks, Butler is taking them all the way through.
I would love to see like 4 or 5 more 50 point performances. 96
Like,
points over 2 games. What is that,
like,
bro? Like one guy. Like, this is insane, dude.
yeah. He's having a beast of a series, and it'll be absolutely amazing to watch them play. Let's move on to the other game, which I am more interested in.
Dude,
This I find
this.
boring. This is the game which I'll be waking up for. Wow. Who you got, Gopal? Who you got?
Dude, this is. So I'll tell you. Okay, there are two answers. One is the heart and one is the mind.
Okay.
By heart, I don't mean like I'm supporting them, but because I know it's going to be a tough battle, I want the Lakers to win. Okay, or at least to take it to 7 games because Lakers are definitely the underdogs here, uh, right? But I want a series for the ages, right? Because let's just appreciate the fact that LeBron and Steph are going at it again because I think we lose sight of these sort of larger stories, right? Because both of them are once in generation players who are facing off and they have had such amazing battles in the last decade. So I just think this series deserves, or these two players in particular, they deserve like their best. And if they are at their best, I think the series deserves to go 6 to 7 games. So
That's what your heart is saying, or that's what your mind is saying?
heart. Mind is saying Warriors are winning.
Why do you say Warriors are winning?
Because again now because the Warriors are deep, right? And they have shown like different people stepping up. You can make the same argument with the Lakers, but I don't think D'Angelo Russell and all when they show up, it's more like you don't really feel okay, that's something that's going to happen time and time again, uh, right? And I feel Draymond Green and Kevon Looney are more than a match for Anthony Davis inside, right? They will either negate or they will exceed what Davis can bring to the table. LeBron James, I don't see him being able to fall back on defense, because he's basically become a perimeter player now, largely, right? So then I envision this shootout between LeBron on one side and Stephen Clay on the other, and that's not a good look, man. Like however good LeBron has improved his shot, it's still, I think it's a gross mismatch in terms of the two teams. So yeah, but this again is going to be interesting in terms of, I want to see the Lakers defense, right? Like what are they going to do differently to slow down the Warriors? I think that for me it'll come down to the defense, and that again I think now the issue is the Warriors are basically they're outside in, right? So my point is Davis could sort of dictate the tempo in the previous series, right? When he's having a good defensive game, it means the Lakers are winning or they're in a very comfortable position. But Davis becomes a bit of a non-factor here, right? So what is the perimeter defense of the Lakers going to be? And again, like I told you, they need to just slow down the Warriors so that they're shooting between the 20-second to the 24-second mark of the shot clock. So these are the things I want to see, and then thinking away.
So the only for game one, I got the Warriors winning. I've told you this before. I think it's going to be a gentleman's sweep. I think Warriors finish it in 5 games. Uh,
Oh wait, I forgot to add.
yeah.
I think Draymond Green will get ejected again. कुछ करेगा. He will mess it up. He will get thrown out for a couple of games, and then the Lakers win those games. Okay, he has shown a tendency in the past. Like Draymond Green. I think Draymond Green is the Lakers' worst enemy and also best friend. I think that's.
So we have a comment from Namal. He says NBA scriptwriters and Adam Silver are going to ensure it will go to 7 games. So I don't know about that, but I honestly feel after Steph's crazy game, the last game, he's gonna
Run out of gas.
no. So there's one thing I've seen about Steph, okay, and you can see this across his playoff history. He lost 2 playoff series, one against the Clippers and one against the Spurs, and then of course against the Cavs, LeBron James. Against these players, so in the case of Clippers against CP3, in case of Spurs against Spurs, it's fine, and against Cavs, which is your LeBron, against these games in these series where he's lost, he takes it personal. He takes it as serious as he can. He is not gonna let the foot off the pedal for 1 second, because he beats down on CP3 every time they meet. He beats down on Spurs every time they meet, and then he will beat down on LeBron every time they meet.
Let's
So
have a beat down, bro. That's what we want. We want to see that. But that's what I'm saying. I still think crazy things happen when two teams led by superstars meet, right?
right.
It's not a black and that's what I'm saying. This is going to be so colorful. This is going to be fun. I don't see it as a. Did you call a sweep? No, you didn't call a sweep.
Gentleman sweep.
Okay, it should go to 6 games. So it should feel like a series. I'm just saying. And again, this is my heart talking. This is my heart.
Let's see what happens. Very interesting to watch, guys. We'll be back here tomorrow. We'll try to finalize on a time where you can join us daily. Gopal, this is for you to decide.
मैं तो कह रहा हूँ 7 बजे भाई शाम को.
ठीक है, देखते हैं. Thank you so much for watching, guys. See you all in our next
Bye
video.
bye.